Good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube viewers, and hello. Today's video is a repeat. I had already did it once. I did it the first time, but I was a little heated, so it didn't come out. So I gotta thank the creator because a lot of people might have been mad at what I'm saying. But I'm gonna tell you the same thing over. Um, and it's not. It's a positive message. Today's topic is uh, black people and pit bulls. So, you know, we love our pit bulls. You know what I'm saying? We tend to them, we take care of them, and, we feed them, we get them as a puppy, and, we watch them grow. Beautiful dogs, strong dogs. We look for them, they protect us. They protect us, in so many different ways, but they're, at the same time, they're our friends. But now say we feed them, and one day we go out to the yard, we go to feed the pit bull, and the pit bull turns on us, snaps at us. So we discipline the pit bull, move him to a side of the yard, put a shorter chain on him, so the pit bull knows he did something wrong, or she knows they did something wrong. Now, time goes by, you take them out, take her out, let them run, let them play, and everything else like that. Now, you're in the yard, and the pit bull turns on your child. So that's it. That's the straw. This pit bull got to go. So you get rid of the dog because you know that this dog is unstable. And even though you show it love, it still has the ability to turn on you. So the reason that I use that as the example is to say that this is what's happening with our leaders. And the anger that I had on my first video is behind the loss, for the two officers who were shot. you know these people were out there, they were doing a job, and they're not, one way or another, they're not, they care about what's going on, but they can't show it. They have a job to do. They don't have time for, to take a personal interest in what's happening. All they care about is protecting the people, making sure that, things are peaceful. And, you know, when the judgment came down, for the Breonna Taylor decision, the black leaders, they're all sympathizing. Every channel I turn to, they're sympathizing. None of them have legislation. None of them have tried to do anything, even since Trayvon Martin. And I thought that that's where those things were supposed to happen. Those people who came into office, that they were going to write up new legislation, and enact, try to get all different types of laws passed, and dealing with directly with the police departments and stuff like that to create change. And they're not talking about it. All they're doing is sympathizing. If we wanted leaders to elect leaders to represent us, I don't want your sympathy. I want you to stop things like this from happening in the future. And none of them have said anything about doing anything uh, on paper about it. There's been no type of diplomacy where these sit downs happen, where organizations who are heavy into this, why aren't they going into these city halls around the country to have talked about it? She's not the first, and I'm not using that. And like I said, I feel for the family, I feel for her. Nobody should lose their lives. But, this has happened before. And we're still at square one. And, you know, one of the things I have posted a video of Kim Klacik. And uh, I had posted it because she's walking through the streets of Baltimore, Maryland, where my father was born and raised. And as an adult, I went there to live. I worked in a sandwich shop under the table or over the table, or I don't know how you call it, but I did receive. I I worked there. And when I worked there, I used to get out at night. I got out at like around 11. I would say 11:30, and where the location of where I was, the buses didn't run. So I had to walk like 4 blocks to get to where I was going. And long story short, I had met this kid who had to be like 14 years old, 13, 14. And I would talk to him like every night. He would ride his bike, and I would walk the 4 blocks. So on one occasion, he said, you have to, pay to come through here. They want you to pay. And I was like, I don't make enough money. I work making sandwiches. I can't afford, I can't even afford to pay for a room in which I was staying. So he made out this sound. And when he made out this sound, this call, people came out of the woodwork, and they were all black. I got my head busted open. And as I'm running, I was getting pelted with rocks, bottles, anything and everything. They were, everything underneath the sun. And and I made it. I saw a light on. A light had just turned on, so I'm banging on the door. It was a second floor light. I'm banging on the door like, "Hey, help me! Call the police! I'm covered in blood." And she threw hot water on me, told me to get the F away from her doorstep. This was a black woman, and these were black people. So, it's sad what happened with Breonna Taylor, but it's happening with us every day, and we lose sight of that. So we get upset when it's someone outside of us that will take a life, but when someone else is just another day in the game. They must be gangsters. They must be black. So that's, to me, that's Black Lives Matter. Do something about that. Curb that. You have all the opportunities in the world to do things. You have all the opportunities after Trayvon Martin to do things, to enact legislation, to create change, to use diplomacy. But they choose not to. And then when things hit the fan like this, and when judgments are handed down like this, they don't want to, they don't, try to get appoint judges. They don't, and even with the attorney generals, there's no change in law. There's no push. It's to say, oh, well, we expected more from you. No, nah, no, lawmakers, people that we put into power. We expected change from you. And when we sit back and we're destroying these businesses, and these businesses are in, their own neighborhoods and around the neighborhoods. When I was growing up, we would just, there was a riot. There was a riot. Businesses got burned down. And anyone that's watching this video that's from Meriden, Connecticut, when the 2 boys were shot. So this is over 30, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, this happened. So it's been happening over and over and over and over and over, and the same responses. So we say, well, let's get people in office that's making change, and they haven't done nothing. They failed us. Those leaders failed us. The Million Man March failed us because they said that they were creating change too. But all those religious leaders that stood up on that podium in front of all those people sold all the black people a dream. But we don't hold them accountable. But we hold outside people accountable. So this is to say, wake up and to get rid of those old school black plantation pit bulls, the ones that we keep on nurturing and believing and standing by, and they do nothing for us. They do nothing for our people. They do nothing for our community. But when they come into our community, they grew up here. Look at the Lexus. Look at the Mercedes. Oh, they live in this big house over here. While the neighborhoods are poor. So to go back to Baltimore, Maryland, where I grew up, and where that lady, Kim Klacik, was taking people through the neighborhoods. When I was there, they were slums like that too. When my father was growing up, from the old pictures that I've seen, they were run down just like that. But when people come to create change, they say, oh, well, they carry a different label, so we can't do that. So keep on. Stay with those pit bulls, because they will stand by you and say, we shall overcome. And then they take off and go to their homes. And those homes ain't in your community. And when nothing is going on in their community, they're enjoying themselves in their community. and then they come in to sympathize with you. So again, how long do we stand where a pit bull continues to turn on you? How long will we stand when the pit bull not only turned on you, now it turned on your children? And these are those leaders. These are those leaders. So what I'm saying to you is, if we want change, change comes with us. And we have to demand that these that these community leaders and the politicians that we put in these offices show us some legislation that you got. Start it. You get my vote. Start it. You don't have to. You don't have to. What do you call it? You don't have to wait until you're in office to draw up something. Show us what you got drawn up now. You want my vote. So I'm saying to us as black people, get rid of these pit bulls, because there are young, black, intelligent black people that are out there that's ready to make change. But we got people out there, and I'm going to make that quote, that if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. That's the most racist thing that I have ever heard in my life. But he was right, because we are still under that victimized mentality, and we are still waiting for someone to come and deliver us, instead of demanding that the people that we put in office to do it now, they haven't done it. And the last president that was in office didn't do it either. Race relations were still the same. So I'm saying that, I wish this was a positive motivation, but this is positive motivation to say get positive and demand that change from those people. Don't stand next to me when things are wrong and things are bad and sympathize with me when you go home to your big house. Come on. We have to demand better of ourselves. And we have to demand better from those around us. And we have to stop hating one another, because we're the only race that's out there doing it. We are those pit bulls. So I want to say, everybody have a positive day. And I have to thank the creator above for, stopping the first video, because it was a little more longer and it was a little more deeper. And I probably would have, twisted people in different kinds of ways. But this video is for everybody, because we all have to understand that, when these people on television, when these people, get up in front of cameras and they say that they represent the black community, they don't represent me. They don't come to me to ask me how I feel, but they'll just throw it out there, and we should be angry with that as well. Stop letting people use our names, our titles, and speaking on behalf of us, and that's not how we feel. So I say to everyone that's out there, rise up and share this video, because we have to make change. And we have to wake up to our reality that we're being played against one another. And it's not the people on the outside, it's the people that we've elected to represent us and speak for us, because they're not doing what we want. So, our prayers go out to those officers who were shot. We pray for no more violence. And I pray also, hopefully we pray for no more protests, that we pray for diplomacy, that these leaders, the ones that sitting there and saying they sympathize, are going to go into these city halls across the country and start to make some change and start to write something up, instead of singing the same old song and dance. And with that, I say, click, like, share, and subscribe, because we have to get this message out for those who stand, with this channel and with this message, because we want to be positive and we want to be respected. We don't want to be looked at as rappers and gangsters, because we're much more than that. So with that, I say, have an awesome day. And with that, I say peace. Not only peace to you, viewer, but to your families and families all across the world, all colors, all nationalities. Peace and blessings.